Hey everybody, McT here. Time for another totally casual lesson. Today we'll be sort of brushing off the dust and taking a look at the Flam. And the Flam is, I guess you could call it seasoning. Adds a certain dimension to your playing. Probably the finest example of Flam use I can think of is latter day Tony Williams in his Fusion days with the big yellow kit. Just absolutely amazing work there, incorporating flams and being able to insert them into any part of a phrase, any burst of notes. He can drop a flam, or could drop a flam anywhere. And I guess probably the thing that works against people the most when they're trying to learn flams and incorporate flams to that level is that they think about them too much. And I got to resort to my great friend and source of endless wisdom and humor, Pete Mosley, and say that what exactly is a flam? Well, in essence, it's two drumsticks like these two, and they are just essentially dropped from different heights at the exact same time. So we bring them up to different heights and we drop them. So it's a little bit more complicated than that, but actually not much. And things you want to be able to have work automatically for you with no thought process whatsoever is essentially the dropping of the sticks, or really the playing of the sticks at the exact same time. And when I try to teach flams, last year working in a high school, I was trying to teach some flams, and that's where I discovered the big problem here is completely and utterly the overthinking of the rudiment itself. So you get people trying to do this, right, where they're actually putting their whole body into it. Really what you want to be able to do is drop the low note, which is actually called a grace note. So basically I'm not putting any force into it, I'm just slightly turning my wrist to bring that note, to bring that bead down to the head, to the playing surface. It's a little bit of almost like letting go. And then a good thing to practice would be those at the exact same time, both of them. And trying to get that to sound like one beat. Where I'm sitting, I'm almost not ever getting it. But that's what we're going for. And then take that same thing up to a tap height or an accent height. Right? So you get that, so you could do something like anything could be turned into an exercise. And you want to get that to where it's just, utterly requires no sort of firing up of the engine in your head to make it happen. It just becomes automatic. The nice thing about these lessons being totally casual is you can hear the mistakes I'm making as well as the good stuff I'm doing. So you get it kind of warts and all. So there you go. And then what you want to do is combine those two things to so we're getting a little bit more into the actual execution of the flam. So again, that's just dropped, and you play that one. Right? Which is, gee, if you're a Tony Williams fan, you've heard that all over the kit. Right? So the way I got there, and if you think about that, what is it really? You know? Play that on a big 10x14 Gretsch tom reefed up with black dot heads. Sounds killer. But what is it? It's eighth notes. Or depending on the meter, it could be 16th notes. And then you're just putting in that grace note. And I kind of refine that by doing a little exercise that I swore I heard somewhere, but the people that I sort of thought might know about it said they didn't know about it. So I'm taking credit for it. And it's basically, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bar exercise. I don't know. Anyway, the bars kind of go like this. 2 beats, it's in 4/4 time, 2 beats of 16th notes, so you get 1 E and a 2 E and then 4 eighth notes. But the eighth notes are paradiddle sticking. Right? So you get, and the reason it's paradiddle sticking is so that you're ready to play the left one next. So it's the same thing on the left. Right? Now we're going to put in those eighth note flams. Okay, so that's the first half of the exercise. The second half gets a little trickier, and this is where you really sort of just have to let go and do those kind of on faith. Because you're going to play the flams hand to hand, so that's right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, so the second half of the exercise is right, so the whole thing goes. Of course, if you can't execute it to that degree, play it slower. And also, when you're playing it slower, play it a little bit higher. The taps, all the taps, play them higher. Keep the grace notes down where they were before. Always keep them down there. Just essentially drop, just let go. So. Right? And then left, hand to hand. Right? And you can take it up really fast too. Right? So that's basically it. To evaluate yourself, think of the word flam. If you're hearing falam, the notes are too far apart. If you're hearing fam, they're too close together. If you're hearing flam, 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 right? So, so that's basically what you're trying to accomplish. And then I would suggest taking bars of 16th notes, randomly dropping in accents, playing that, like say, do a 2-bar 16th note thing, and then drop flams in where the accents are. Right? And then you get used to shifting flams around to different areas and within groups of notation. Take, various things, 16th triplets. Haven't worked on that one myself too much. That one is really cool because you leave your left hand on the snare, and if you use a multi-tom kit, you can bring your right hand around the toms and release it on the snare drum with a flam. And you get a really cool fill that people go, "What was that?" So anyway, there we go. That's your flams. And that's it. That's today's totally casual drum lesson, warts and all. Thanks for listening. Any questions, of course, you can get a hold of me on Facebook or leave comments under this video. Thanks a lot. Some more coming up later on, where possibly next thing we'll be working on some double stroke rolls. So thanks again. Hope you're enjoying it. See you soon.